Hey, everybody, it's Eddie from Tokyo, and this is your cryptocurrency update from Japan. Well, today's a busy day in the news. If you follow news on a regular basis, you'll know that Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are press release days. So that's why we have an abundance of news in the middle of the week. So the first I want to cover, in the Nikkei, it talks about the big players swoop in on Japan's embattled cryptocurrency exchanges. What this is referring to is the company Monex is trying to acquire COINCHECK. COINCHECK was the exchange that was hacked and all the NEM was stolen. So Monex is actually been around for I think since 1999, and they are in the FX trading space, but looks like they're going to offer so let's see here. They're going to offer they want the majority of voting rights for several billion yen or tens of millions of dollars. So the deal is likely to be announced as early as this week. It looks like it's a done deal, but we're not sure. Yeah, and the online brokerage Monex was established in 1999. Now, what's funny is, let me just go back to this. What I think this really is telling us is that the big finance companies and the major players, not just in Japan, but in the world, are getting involved. And I think the more they validate this space, the more chances we're going to have another boom, but this next boom is going to be really big. So I think just fasten your seatbelt because we're about to take off. Here's something that's funny. Monex, which I went to their website today just to kind of poke around, they have, this is kind of crazy. So, the reason why COINCHECK is being acquired is because they didn't really handle the the currency in a safe manner. They had it in a hot wallet, and they got hacked. So check this out. Monex has this warning on the front of their homepage. Please be aware of recruitment scams using the name of Monex Group Inc. and any of its people. Any genuine offer from the Monex Group Inc. will always be preceded by a formal application and a face-to-face interviews. Please do not respond to any contact using emails which are not sent from the @monex.co.jp email account. So what this tells me is they got hacked. So it's kind of funny that the exchange that got hacked got in big trouble with the FSA, and Monex came in to rescue them, but yet they obviously have been hacked as well. I don't know. I find it funny. It's not funny, but it's curiously funny. Okay. When you look at how big Monex is, has approximately 1.7 million accounts, and they also have a number of margin accounts, about 118,000, and they basically are in the management of 4 billion yen, which is about 37 million US dollars. So you can see, and also too, they have been growing slightly. It's been a slow rise, but they are going in the right direction. So if you want to see more of this monthly disclosure of Monex, I'll have the link in the comment section down below. Okay, next we have an article that is talking about the Bank of Japan's warning has little effect on Bitcoin bounce back. And the BOJ publishes a negative Q&A for the general public. Well, no doubt they said what they did, and actually the part that was pretty shocking for me is in the explanation of their Q&A, they are quoted as saying, shouldn't we ban something we don't really understand? Well, Gosh, guys, that's your job to understand it. And I would be embarrassed if I was associated with people as far as my colleagues that are in the central bank that had that comment. It's just kind of really unbelievable. So, Japan struggles with regulatory balance. Well, I guess what I want to say is that the BOJ, a Bank of Japan, is traditionally one of the most conservative arms of business and governance in the country. And so no doubt they have many different political struggles within, because when you go to where do I want to show you this? I want to go and show you. Here it is here. The Bank of Japan actually is very transparent, and they will provide documentation and translation in English of their recent speeches and statements. And this is a really great website if you want to see what they are saying. And obviously, there are different points of view, because in one of the speeches that I found, which came from a very influential member, he's the deputy governor of the Bank of Japan. He really had quite opposite opinion and statement when he said that he talks about the centralization, the coexistence of centralized and decentralized frameworks. So he says that although the information processing capacity of human is limited, trust dramatically enhances the efficiency of information processing, and we cannot trust others. We must always carry hundreds of keys with us and manage them. This would make life difficult. So this was his kind of negative side to being decentralized. But basically, he is positive, and that he really believes that the two different approaches can actually coexist. So he says it here. I believe that it is entirely possible and desirable to realize the coexistence of trusted centralized systems and decentralized systems used as and when necessary. So we need to make a great effort to design the optimum framework for economic society through utilizing the available technologies. And these frameworks should take into consideration the various incentives of economic entities to ensure people's trust is indispensable to financial activity. So, I just think that you just can't always read a headline and take it at face value. You need to go a little bit deeper. And so you can use this Bank of Japan's website that allows you to look at their statements and speeches in a translated manner. Okay, now this next one is very interesting. I really wasn't aware of the Financial Stability Board before, but the Financial Stability Board is an international body that monitors and makes recommendations about global financial systems. This is the group that brought its statement to the G20 Summit in Argentina. And, when we look at the countries who participate, and you see the representatives, they have so many things on their agenda. And as we know, this last time, tariffs were very much on top of everybody's discussion. But we really need to see who is the power behind the power. And wow, no doubt that the FSB is really a powerhouse. And if you look at who this group is. Look at this. Yeah, I don't need to really make any comments. You can see for yourself. And then you can go into more of the bios for the chair and the secretary general. But when you really want to know how the future is going to be shaped, I think you need to stay on top of what the Financial Stability Board is talking about. And when we look in detail, this is the actual document that they brought for the G20 ministers and central bank governors to read. And this was basically, what the other countries are leaning on in terms of advice. And here it talks about the crypto assets and responding to concerns of members. The FSB has undertaken a review of the financial stability risk posed by the rapid growth of crypto assets. So this is a gold mine in terms of information to find out, I think, in what direction the G20 is going to take. And I think this is who we need to really follow because they are the power behind the power. Okay, that is on that. And let's see, if I just now go to this article here, Japanese man arrested for allegedly opening cryptocurrency account he then sold to a criminal group. Well, if you know, when media uses the word criminal group, they're referring to the Yakuza. And the Yakuza they have a huge complicated history in Japan. There's only about 100,000 members left. And of about half, that is the Yamaguchi Gumi group. So they are prevalent in lots of murky businesses, and they are not so visible in Tokyo. I mean, you can see them, but they really look like businessmen. When you go to Kansai and you're in Osaka and parts of Kyushu and Kyoto, you can see them much more often. Especially, I had a personal experience when I went to Kyoto, and I was in the Gion districts, which is the entertainment district, and wow, they're everywhere, and they're really scary. So I'm not an expert in organized crime in Japan, but they can't get a bank account, and that's why they bought a bank account, or they bought an exchange account from somebody who was able to open up the account. So this was obviously an attempt at being able to participate in cryptocurrency because they are really cut off from the mainstream, and banks are strictly forbidden to work with them. So if you are interested in that Yakuza, which they don't call themselves Yakuza. There's actually two different words. They call themselves something different, and the police call them another word. But Yakuza comes from a card game, Yakuza, and it's about the worst hand you can get in a card game. It's when you actually come up with 0. And so it just stuck. And, just on a side note, that's why the tattoo is so taboo here in Japan, and I really wonder how that's going to shake out when the Tokyo Olympics in 2020 occur, because so many people around the world, in the West especially, are getting tattoos as body art. But if you have a tattoo, you are strictly banned from many places like onsens, which are hot springs, and which is a huge part of experiencing the culture here, and in even gyms. You can't even get into a gym and work out if you have a tattoo, at least most. And so I don't know how Japan's going to deal with that, because times are changing, and I think Japan's outlook or perceived ideas of tattoos needs to change, but that's neither here nor there. If you want to know a little bit more about the organized crime, get the book on Amazon by Jack Adelstein. He is a longtime Tokyo resident. He came to Japan when he was 19 years old. He graduated from Sophia University in literature, and he has done a lot of work for Tokyo Vice, and also has written this book, The Last Yakuza, The Life of the Japanese Underworld. And he still is active. He writes, he tweets, he's in major newspapers, but he kind of lives underground. I don't know if he's he's a little paranoid, and maybe rightly so, because he has written some revealing things about the underground, and so he lives a little bit, a lot under the radar. But his book is very popular, and I'm sure it's fun to read. I haven't read the whole thing. I've only read parts of it online through his blog and other types of people quoting him. But no doubt he has a great reputation in terms of being a good writer. So I think I can recommend it. Let's see here. So we've got that. Yeah. And then the last story was this story here. In Japan gathers 500 agents to fight cybercrime and crypto theft. Well, this isn't going to go away anytime soon, because, these hacks are just coming up every day all over the world. It says here that over 3 million attempts to steal digital information has been registered last year in Japan. That's an enormous amount of hacking incidences. So, even last night on the news, the government emails were hacked. So, I just think this is going to be an ongoing cat and mouse game for everybody in the world, and we just have to be really better at protecting data. And again, it's another reason why we need to promote the decentralized storage. So that's my point, to bring it to mass adoption. Look at this Shutterstock image. Creepy. Okay. So I think that's it for you today. I think there's a couple of really good nuggets in this particular video. The best is, not the best, but one of the best is the FSB, learning about how powerful this group really is. And also the BOJ site, where you can get the translated speeches. Okay, everybody, take care. Have a great day, and sayonara for now. Bye-bye.